Hi everyone, it's me, Chris, once again, and I'm here with the second of the second series of this transformation series, Fitness Secrets They Don't Want You to Know About. Um, so this one, in this second series, we're profiling Lisa. Okay, Lisa, of course, is starting off at about 209 pounds. And her original goal, there wasn't a numerical number that I can get that I could wrestle out of her at this time. So I had to, I guess, make one up and see how she felt about it, and she was okay with it um, because her goal was to be a size six. Okay, and I'm a guy. All right, size six doesn't mean a damn thing to me. Okay, that's an abstract thing, you know. So what I did was is I Googled famous celebrity size sixes. Okay, and of course, you had Kim Kardashian and J Lo and Beyonce, um, which none of which fit Lisa's situation because they're all known for having larger butts and glutes and hips and things like that. Where that's not Lisa's build. She's not built in that way. So up came Jessica Simpson. So and then we got information on her stats, height and all those things in there, and with Lisa's body fat and goals, we figured out a goal from there, and that's how I came up with the goals for her, and I brought it to her, and she was all in for it, and things like that. Okay, so that's where all that came from. It's not. I'm not expecting her to be Jessica Simpson again, but it's just a goal, something to reach for. So you put a number to it. It defines the goal more than a size X, or I want to lose weight or anything like that. It makes it a little bit more concrete. So now where the goal is to get to get down to 150 or less, that kind of that makes it more concrete, for her coming from size 14 to 16 and just wanting to get to size 6. So we know if we get around in that range, which we can, um, that would, that would more than likely put her in a size 6. When I've done this with clients before, it was usually about 10 to 12 pounds per size. But like I said, I'm not an expert in sizes. So there you go. All right. So the thing with Lisa as opposed to Jen, how Lisa differs from Jen, Lisa is more of a high stress profile. Okay. So, of course, conventional wisdom says, hey, high stress, work it out. Hey, high stress, work it out. And you can do that to a point. They need to work out, and you can do that to a point. But the thing that you have to know about high stress is a lot of high stress people also don't have good sleep habits. Their sleep is bad, and so what happens when your sleep goes bad? It's a little vicious cycle that goes on. Your sleep goes bad, so you stress even more, and your blood sugar, your ability to handle carbohydrate, it goes down. Okay, which you stress out. You would stress out even more. Your sleep gets bad. Your ability to regulate your blood sugar goes bad. It's a vicious little cycle thing that's going on there. So you don't want to add to that cycle by making sure you work by adding extra workout, more workout than they need. You want to be real particular about how you give them giving them what they can handle, because at the same time, high stress people need those carbohydrates. I mean, of course, I could have taken them away, and she would have done it. I mean, she's totally committed and all that. She would have done that. But the catch is your body subconsciously knows, in order to deal with that stress, you got to have an insulin rise. Okay, so that's why a lot of people, when they stress eat, they're reaching for the sugary stuff. So that was the thing with or that's the thing with Lisa's deal there. On top of the medications, she does a lot of medications. Blood pressure medications. different a different steroid for asthma, and I believe there was one for gosh, I want to say like a acid reflux or something like that. I'd have to look at my notes for that. But those medications are playing with her weight, and it's also um, adding to the difficulty of getting her lean. Um, while I'm thinking about it, and this is a trick how we figured out how to balance out her work or when it starts to get too much, you know, because of course you have to work, you got to make money. So and some people have to make a lot of money, a lot of sacrifices for children or sacrifices for their significant others or whatever the case may be, or sacrificing to make a better life for themselves at a later date. They have to deal with conditions, deal with jobs that they don't like, deal with living situations that they don't like, and of course that's more stress, and that hinders your ability to recover from a workout. And so what we did in the beginning, luckily I did this to try to individualize our cardio. What I did was I used Carbonin formula to create a individualized interval training program for her. Okay, but so for Carbonin formula, you need your resting heart rate. And the great thing about the Carbonin formula, it's individual. Well, everybody's like, oh, okay, well, it's 220 minus age, whatever. No, Carbonin says, no, forget that. If your resting heart rate is lower than average or higher than the average, then it's more catered to you and your situation. But anyway, we got the resting heart rate, and her weight, it went down, then all of a sudden it went up. And a couple other things that led me to believe that there was a stress situation. So what I did was I asked her, asked Jen to take, sorry, not Jen, sorry, asked Lisa to take her resting heart rate, and we noticed that it was up about 6 to 8 beats per minute. So that was telling me, usually as you get in better shape, it should go down because you become more, your body becomes more efficient at circulating this blood. So the heart doesn't have to beat as many times because it beats stronger each time it circulates more blood. Okay. Well, what ended up happening, it started going up. So that's usually a sign of overtraining, or there's too much, that more than she can handle. So what I did at this time was, once we found this out, is we cut all the volume of her work in half. And when we did that, we waited a few days, and all of a sudden the weight dropped 4 pounds. So yes, and the reason why we cut the workout volume, cut Lisa's workout volume for those few days is, um, her life was overwhelming her, and it wasn't giving her a proper chance to recover. So what we did was cut the workout volume in half. Like normally in a workout, she would do, let's see, four by okay, up to 24 sets, maybe 24 sets of all the various exercises. So what most people, the conventional wisdom, might say is you'll want to say, okay, just do less reps, and it's like no, because if you, I mean, you do less reps, but if you cut the intensity at the same weight, it's not the she's going to lose the effect. She's going to lose the fat loss effect because you're not making her work hard enough, or you're not making her work long enough. So each set, the time under tension is not going to be long enough. So what instead of either cutting the weight so she doesn't have enough intensity, or having her perform less reps at the same weight, what I did was I had her perform less sets. So if she normally did 3 sets or 4 sets per exercise, I would just say, hey, no more than two. Get out of there. Okay. And so what that does is it gives her body a chance to catch up. Okay. They say that fatigue masks fitness. So if you're overtrained, it's not going to let you put the best you forward, or you're not going to see the best you until your body has a chance to catch up. And that's um, why we did that. We just cut our volume in half, which means, like I said, less sets. We didn't alter the intensity. We kept the intensity the same because she needs that effect. She needs that. She needs to still lose fat. We need that fat loss effect. Okay. Um, so we didn't lighten the weight. We didn't have her perform less reps at the same weight. We just did less sets. We cut the volume in half. Um, I used to actually do it with clients where every 12 weeks they took a week off. It's still a great idea. Me personally, it was a little rough. It was a little rough until a vacation comes up, and then unfortunately I take that week off and try to enjoy myself for a bit. But anyway, with that said, that's the deal with stress and the workout volume. If you have high stress, you can't handle the same amount of work because your recovery isn't going to be optimal. So you want that stress, and recovery to be balanced. Okay, you just can't throw more workout because if you don't recover from it, it's going to create more problems. And also, if you're a stress type, it might be better for you to have your carbs in the evening. Okay, usually none during the day, and then have them more at night. And what that does is it brings down that cortisol response, so that you can sleep. So you can get to sleep or get a better quality sleep. Because anybody who knows exercise, knows anything about exercise and how the body responds to exercise, is your natural growth hormones, which will get you lean, and that's what we use in her workouts to get her lean. They're mostly produced in your sleep. Okay, um, all those growth and repair processes are done while you're sleeping. It's not done while you're working out. It's done while you're sleeping. So for that, and then to help correct this cycle of stress and high blood sugar and more stress, and I'm sorry, poor blood sugar management and more stress, you have to start getting her to sleep to help her own cause. So that was really important. And so we did have carbs in her diet, and um, I recommended that they're more in the evening at bedtime, probably starting with post workout. Most of them close to post workout, and then have more in the evening, and then sometimes maybe I'll put the recipe up later, but I use a berry drink because with those berries, they're higher in antioxidants and stuff like that, which will also, and higher in nutrients, which should also help her to sleep. Again, if you guys email me, I'll give that to you. Okay, so with all that said, Lisa, like Jen, like Annie, they all do. They were all of an endurance background, doing a lot of endurance. So the thing with all of them is they'll do 20 or 30 really long intervals, which is normally okay. Women respond better to longer intervals than shorter ones, but the thing is she's used to that. She's used to that. But so what I tried to do is I tried to break it down to a smaller interval so she'll perform at a higher output. And like I mentioned in Jen's story there, if you perform at a higher output, you have the ability to produce more lactic acid because it takes you longer to recover. So instead of like a 45-second sprint and giving her a minute and a half, to rest or to go easy, active rest, I brought it down to 25-second sprints and 35 seconds rest. Okay, so over the course of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, she's doing more of them. But originally, I hoped that she wouldn't be used to the power output, and it would bring the number down. So now she's not doing 20 or 30 intervals and saying, "What the," it's more work for her. So that was the deal with that, and she's doing whole body workouts. I have a whole body and metabolic resistance training section of the book there, and so I gave her those, or I created stuff like that for her, and because with Jen, where Jen is different, she had her goal was to be a little bit more muscular than what Lisa's goal is. So that's why there's a difference in the way that I handle that. Jen kind of went the more conventional bodybuilding route, where Lisa's doing whole body stuff. You can do it both ways. It might even come to a point where they might switch places and one might be going more bodybuilding. Actually, I will do that with Lisa after month 3 because what the problem is when you keep working out whole body with those short rest periods, over time you don't build strength like you should, and that's going to hold you back. Because you adapt to those short rest periods in an endurance like fashion, not a strength type fashion. So she becomes better at um, all the areas, but not great at one. So what's going to have to happen with her with Lisa? It's going to happen with Jen too, but she does that type of training already. Not quite. I mean, not classic strength, but more bodybuilder like. Um, they're going to need to go to a strength phase so they can get stronger. So when I put them back in those type of workouts for fat loss, they'll be able to perform better. It's think of it like this. Think of it like this. Like if I put, let's say it's me, and I normally deadlift 405 for 6 reps, okay, and for 6 reps, and then maybe 365 for 8 or 10 reps. So when I'm doing that type of work, I I recruit so much muscle, I produce so much lactic acid or whatever. Now, what if I go through a strength phase, get really, really strong and add muscle and all that stuff, and I can do 405 for 10 reps now, and not in a strength phase, in a phase where I'm doing, bodybuilding type training or different types of extended sets. Okay. So now I'm recruiting more muscle. I'm using more oxygen while I'm lifting, all those benefits that set you up for better fat loss. So that is why I usually do that after about 3 months. No scientific reason for it. I read old stuff about from Paula Quinn where he said you never try to do one thing more than 12 weeks. And I tried it with clients and it worked. So that's my stigma. There's no, as far as I know, I haven't looked because I don't care. There's no scientific data on that. But anyway, that's one thing that's coming up for them is that strength phase. So hopefully we can improve strength a whole lot and then put them back into what they're doing. And they'll perform better. And that's another reason why I know there's a person out there who believes that personal trainers should never periodize, which I thought was moronic, and they actually thought it was too because they changed their view this week. I laughed my ass off when I saw that, because with that type of logic, you just train with the same goals forever, and that's dumb. Your body's going to adapt to all that. How are you going to keep making progress if you keep doing what you've done? Doing what you did to get to a point might not necessarily be what you need to get to the next level. So for that reason, that line of thinking doesn't make sense at all. I mean, I get that we all work with different populations and all that, and different people have different levels of commitment. But to try to lump everybody who works with all the different populations across the world, and those populations have different levels of commitment. I mean, I've had a client, um, and she would not take a vacation until I took a vacation. I was gone 2 weeks for the holidays, and she was mad at me that I was gone a couple extra days. So I mean, it's asinine to think of that. But anyway, that's enough about that, because I'm sure they'll be mad at me if they ever hear about this. Um, One more thing, okay, and it's came to my attention. I'm hoping that none of you who watch this video are this way. Um, I'm hoping that you're all, cheering for these ladies to pull off what they want to pull off, just like you would cheer for your fellow man if they wanted to do something lofty or great or something, try to defy the odds to, live a happier life. I hope you guys aren't one of these trolling people that are going to troll and talk trash on them and stuff like that. If you are, man, you're part of what's wrong with the world. That just makes you a piece of shit. There's no better way to put it. You can claim that you're a good person and all that, but then anytime you're trying to extinguish somebody's dreams or anything like that, you're a piece of shit. There's no way around it. All right. With that said, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And until next time,